Hi, I'm Rob Cosman. Welcome to my shop in Grand Bay, New Brunswick, Canada. Yesterday we posted a video about cutting mortise and tenon, actually the tenon part, and talked about how you want to get that to the point where you can take it right from the saw. But what do you do if you miss and it doesn't quite fit because the saw wasn't accurate? Well, let me show you. I'm going to start with how we do the layout because that is a critical part to how we can perfect it. So this is called a mortise and gauge. And this one is of our own design. So you back off that little thumb screw, open these cutters up, take your mortise chisel. These are so critical because everything in a mortise and tenon joint is gauged off of your chisel. Set that in between the two cutters, wind the cutters in until it's snug, and then tighten it up with that little thumb screw. So now that accurately represents the chisel. Now you go in and you adjust the head of the tool to get it where you want it. You've made your mark. And now when I look at this, I can see that I left material because I can see a little wee fine cut right on the edge as a result of the marking gauge cutter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use what's called a router plane. This is made by a company called Lee Nielsen, and I really like this one, so this is my preference. So I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to loosen the cutter first, and I'm going to let it drop down so it sits right on that little polished mark made by the knife or the blade on the marking gauge, mortise and gauge. Now this is a very simple tool, but when I use it, the bevel of the cutter is going to want to pull it down this way, so you've got to put a lot of weight on my left hand. I'm going to go side to side, go in there until I just start to pick up a shaving. Now this side wasn't too bad, but you can see how I left it heavy on this as I get closer to the shoulder. Now, I always do this before I cut this to length, because these are going to be cut off here as well. Because sometimes when you're cutting across the grain like that, you may tear some of these off. Well, in this form, it's okay because I'm going to come in here afterwards and cut these. And then I would do the other side to match it. And then you end up with two sides that are parallel to each other and also parallel to this face. And then the joint fits exactly. But being able to go off that little cut line is key to getting it perfect. Hope this helps.